I wasn't supposed to come home that early. If I hadn't, I probably would have never found out. My name is Rebecca, and until that day, I believed I had a normal life, a stable marriage, a comfortable home, and a daughter I was incredibly proud of. Her name is Lily. She had just turned 18. Smart, kind, and always surrounded by friends. Our house was always full of laughter, especially when her friends came over. I liked that. I liked knowing where she was, who she was with, and I trusted her.
Completely.
I also trusted my husband, Daniel. We had been married for over 12 years. Like any marriage, it wasn't perfect, but it was steady, predictable, safe. At least, that's what I believed. Lily had a close group of friends. One of them was Emma. She had been coming over to our house for years. At first as a shy teenager, then slowly growing into a confident young woman. She was polite, respectful, always smiling. The kind of girl you never question. The kind of person you feel comfortable having in your home. And my husband was always kind to her. Friendly, but nothing that ever seemed inappropriate. At least, not in a way I allowed myself to notice. Looking back now, I can see the small details. The moments I ignored. Because they didn't fit the reality I believed in. Things started changing slowly. So slowly, I didn't even realize it at first. Daniel began coming home later from work. Not every day, but often enough to feel different. At the same time, Lily started spending more time at school or with friends, which meant Emma sometimes came over alone. At first, it didn't seem strange. They were close. It made sense. But then I started noticing something else. The timing. The way Emma would come over on days when Lily wasn't home. The way Daniel would suddenly be working from home on those same days. I didn't connect it. Not fully. Because the thought that was trying to form in my mind felt too wrong to even consider. Then there were the looks.
Small.
Quick. But noticeable. The kind of glances people think no one else sees. One evening, I walked into the kitchen and caught Daniel and Emma standing closer than usual. Too close. They stepped apart immediately when they saw me. "Everything okay?" I asked. Daniel smiled. "Yeah." Emma nodded quickly, but something in the air felt off. That night, I couldn't stop thinking about it. The way they reacted. The way they avoided eye contact. The way the room had gone silent. I told myself I was overthinking, that it was nothing, that I was being paranoid. But the feeling didn't go away. It stayed, growing slowly, quietly, until the day everything changed. It was a Wednesday. I remember because my schedule had been packed that morning. Meetings,
Calls. Deadlines.
Around 3 p.m., my manager told me I could leave early. Something about a canceled meeting. At the time, I felt lucky. I even smiled as I packed my things. I had no idea what I was about to walk into. The drive home felt normal. Traffic. Music. Nothing unusual. When I pulled into the driveway, I noticed something immediately. A car. Parked in front of the house. My stomach tightened. I recognized it. It was Emma's car. A strange feeling settled in my chest. Why was she here? Lily wasn't home. She had texted me earlier saying she'd be out with friends. I tried to stay calm. Maybe she stopped by for something. Maybe she needed help. But something didn't feel right. I walked to the front door and unlocked it. The house was quiet. Too quiet. "Hello." I called out. No answer. I stepped inside and closed the door behind me. And then I heard it. A sound. Coming from the living room. Low voices. And something else. A soft laugh. My heart started beating faster. I moved slowly down the hallway. Each step felt heavier than the last. The voices became clearer. Daniel and Emma. But the tone of their voices was not normal. Not casual. Not innocent. Something about it made my stomach twist. I reached the edge of the hallway, and then I saw them, standing in the living room.
Close.
Too close. Daniel's hand on her waist, Emma looking up at him. And, in that moment, everything inside me stopped. For a second, the entire world felt completely silent, like all the sound had been pulled out of the room. I just stood there, staring at them. Daniel and Emma, standing in my living room like they had nothing to hide. Then Daniel saw me. His face changed instantly. Rebecca. Emma turned a moment later. The second she saw me, she stepped back quickly. Too quickly. Like she had just been burned. Daniel's hand dropped from her waist. But it didn't matter. I had already seen enough. What is this? I asked. My voice sounded calm. Strangely calm. Even though my heart was racing. Neither of them answered. That silence told me everything. How long?
I asked.
Daniel looked at the floor. Emma couldn't even look at me. 2 months, he said quietly. 2 months. While she had been coming into my house. While my daughter trusted her. While I trusted both of them. I let out a slow breath. Not anger. Not tears. Just something breaking quietly inside me. And you? I asked Emma. She finally looked up. Her eyes were filled with panic. I didn't mean for this to happen, she said. The sentence made something inside me turn cold. You didn't mean for this to happen? I repeated. You've been coming into my house for years. My voice was steady now. You were my daughter's friend. The word felt wrong. Completely wrong. I know, she said. I didn't think. No, I said, cutting her off. You didn't. Silence filled the room again. Then I looked at Daniel. Were you ever going to tell me? He didn't answer. And that was enough. Because people who plan to tell the truth don't hide it for months. For a brief moment, I expected to feel rage, to scream, to lose control. But instead, I felt something else.
Clarity.
Cold, sharp clarity. I looked around the room. The house I had built. The place that had always felt safe. And suddenly, it felt like I was standing in someone else's life. You need to leave, I said. Daniel looked up. What? You heard me. My voice didn't shake. Pack your things and leave. Emma took a step back. Rebecca. Go. I didn't even look at her. I don't want to hear anything else. There was nothing they could say that would change what I had already seen.
No explanación. No excuse.
Daniel stood there for a moment, then slowly nodded. Without another word, he walked past me toward the bedroom. Emma hesitated. For a second, I thought she might try to say something else. But then she turned and walked toward the door. When it closed behind her, the house became silent again. Completely silent. Daniel left shortly after. The sound of the front door closing echoed through the house. And just like that, they were gone. I stood there in the middle of the living room, alone, but not confused anymore. Because sometimes the truth doesn't need explanation. Sometimes you see it once, and you understand everything. And once you do, there's no going back.